Hello everyone, I am here to talk to you about donuts and hopefully make them a lot less confusing and help you get their real value. So to start out with the basics, donuts can be made using berries. You can start out with 3, but you can get up to 8 as you progress through the DLC. And while you're exploring the hyperspaces, you can find hyperberries, like this right here, that give you more calories and better stats. So what are the calories and the stats? Well, the calories are what determine how long you can stay in a hyperspace for. So as you can see here, we have a 1-star hyperspace, a 3-star, a 4-star. They go up to 5, and the different stars burn different amounts of calories. 1-star burns 1 calorie per second. A 2-star burns 1.6 calories per second. A 3-star burns 3.5 calories per second. And a 4-star uses 7.5 calories per second. And I don't have a 5-star up here, but a 5-star uses 10 calories per second. So as you can see, the higher you go, the way more drastic the calorie need goes up. So anything kind of 3-star and up, the calories are very important. Okay, so now what are the stats? The stats are your spicy, sour, fresh, bitter, and sweet. And those are what give you the different buffs from the donuts. Now I'm going to use this handy dandy chart from Austin John Plays to help with telegraphing what those different buffs are. So spicy gives all of your damage buffs, being move type power like fire power, grass power, water power, straight attack power or special attack power, and attack speed. Sour gives you powers for better items from floating Pokeballs and just shiny drops on the ground. Those items can be experience candies, Pokeballs, which does include Apper Balls like the Love Ball, Moon Ball, things like that. Gimme Ghoul coins, treasures that you sell to make money like nuggets, big nuggets, and the new hyperberries. Fresh gives you catching power and encounter power, which encounter power you can use to overload the spawns, which encounter power is how you overload spawns. So if something typically has like 5 Pokemon spawning, you can increase that number to above 5 with encounter power. Bitter gives you all of your defense buff like type resistance, so like grass resistance, fire resistance, and it gives you more defenses just being better defense or special defense. And then sweet is what gives you sparkling power. The sparkling power can be type specific, like sparkling power dragon. So only dragons have a better chance of being shiny, but it can also be for all types. You can also get powers for teensy sized Pokemon and humongo sized Pokemon, as well as alpha Pokemon. One thing to note, humongo and alpha are 2 different powers. Humongo just means the Pokemon is bigger, but alpha means alpha Pokemon. So now with all of our powers out of the way, how do you actually get the powers? Like, how do you get sparkling power? Well, here's where the bad news comes in. Even if you use the same berries every time, you will get random powers. Kind of random powers. If you stack up as much sweet power, for example, it's going to pull from those sweet powers at a much higher rate than anything else. But that being said, if you use the same berries, like if I used 8 hyper Tonga berries, 95 sweet, back to back, they're going to give me different powers both times. It's just going to be from that sweet power list a lot more often. But there is good news, and it's that let's say you do use 8 hyper Tonga berries and you don't get what you want, you can re-roll with those same berries by resetting your game. And you can do that until you get one that you like. Let me show you how. Okay, so now how do we set up re-rolling our donut? What you're going to want to do is fly to a Pokemon Center. So walk up, we're going to heal here. So now that we've healed, I like personally also throwing down a heart save. And now we're going to fly back to the hotel. I'm going to walk in and talk to Ansha. So now that we're here at Ansha, I'm going to use 8 Hyper Yachi berries. There we go. So 8 Hyper Yachi berries, that's as many as I had. And I'm going to make this donut. We have the inescapable Yachi cream donut. So it gives us catching power, flying level 2, encounter power level 2, and alpha power level 2. That's a very good donut. But for the purpose of this, I am going to re-roll this donut. But for reference, personally, like encounter power and sparkling power, they're very similar to where they both just give you more rolls per reset. But I'm going to reset it. So we open up our home menu, close out our software. We load up the game. All right, now on this screen, you're going to, on the D-pad right there, the up button, you're going to hit up, X, and B at the same time. And when we load back in, we're standing at the Pokemon Center. Let me fly to Hotel Z real quick. And as you can see, we still have our 8 Hyper Yachi berries. So let's say you use your 8 Hyper Yachi berries and you don't get what you want. You can use this method to re-roll until you get one that you do want. So now that we've gone over how to make donuts, how to get the ones we want, let me give you some general donut tips. If you're having trouble having the hyper berries, the best way I found to farm them is going to a level 3 medium hyperspace. So as you can see at the bottom right there below the Pokemon and the common types, it says medium hyperspace wild zone detected. You can get small, medium, and large hyperspaces. So this one medium, so this one's small, that one's small, that one's small, no large ones. So all of mine right here are medium or small. Going to a 3-star medium one gives you a good amount of floating Pokeballs, which is how you get those hyper berries, and it makes the last final bonus golden Pokeball a lot easier to find than if you used a large hyperspace. It makes the ball kind of hard to find, it wastes time, and you might not even find it. You might just run out of time straight up. So I like going to the medium hyperspace ones and just getting all the floating Pokeballs, getting the bonus ball, and dipping out. You can also use your sour hyperspace berries with the item power to get more berries from those floating Pokeballs, so that way you can kind of stack up the ones that you do want and you still have a purpose for your sour berries. Also, while you're farming the berries in the floating Pokeballs, I like using a Pokemon like Skarmory here, because he can just fly to wherever they're at and hit them, and when he flies he's like kind of flat, so he can fit in a lot of places pretty easy. So I would suggest using a flying Pokemon, or if you want to use something that's not flying, for Alligator here, he has Aqua Jet, and Aqua Jet, even if something's like way above him, he'll just straight up teleport to it. So things like Aqua Jet, Bullet Punch, Quick Attack, Extreme Speed, all of those things will just let your Pokemon teleport to it. It's a good way to farm them pretty fast. So now that we've gone through everything, I'm going to go through the process start to finish so you can see all of it come together in one comprehensive way. So I found a hyperspace that I want to shiny hunt in. We have Totodile here. It is a small hyperspace, which for shiny hunting is actually pretty good. So let me go. I'm going to go through the whole process here. So I'm going to go to the Pokemon Center. I'm going to walk up, talk to her. Now that we healed, I'm going to put down a hard save because I'm superstitious. Fly back to the hotel, walk inside, and we're going to talk to Ansha. I'm going to use this Hyper Tanga Berry. We're going to use some Hyper Yachi Berries, 4 Hyper Aka Berries, and a Hyper Chopal Berry. So we have sweet stacked up and fresh stacked up. I want encounter power and I want sparkly power. Those are the 2 things that I'm looking for. We're gonna make our donut. Okay, so we got teensy power, catching power, and encounter power. That's not what we want. So I'm gonna close out. You can hit up, X, and B. Start from backup data. And I'm gonna go through the whole process again. I'm not gonna show you every time that I reset, but I will see you when we get the donut that we want. Sparkling power, fairy level 3 and alpha power level 2. That's a good one, but not what we're looking for. Okay, sparkling power, all types, level 2. So I'm going to take this one. So now that we have our donut, I'm going to fly to a Pokemon Center nearby. It's this one right here. Fly to this Pokemon Center. Walk up, heal. I'm going to do a hard save. Now I'm going to fly to this hyperspace. Now before I go into this hyperspace, I do want to note, if we go in and there isn't a layout that we like, or we want something to change, you can use the same reset method that we use with the donut for the hyperspace. That's why I flew to the Pokemon Center earlier and healed. So I'll show you that right now. We're going to go in. We're going to use our sparkly Chopal. We're going to use our sparkly donut. So this is going to give us a survey time of 26 minutes. So when you go into the hyperspace dimension, it is going to save. It's going to save right here. So we have Totodile, we have some Binnacle, Carvana, we got a bunch of guys here. But let's say Totodile didn't spawn right next to where we want. We can close out our game. We're going to load it back from our backup data. And now we're back at the Pokemon Center above the hyperdimension hole. So I'm going to fly back. And now we can go in with our sparkly donut. And when we go in, it's going to be changed around. So if you get spawns that aren't optimal for you, you can use this method. Now you can see we have 2 Totodile spawns. We have those ones right there and those ones off in the back. So what we can do now, I have a video going over the different shiny hunting methods for the hyperspaces. If you want to check that out, I'll probably put it like over there somewhere. But the method that I'm going to be using for this is just fly spam. So when we fly in here, all of this respawns. Oh, we got an alpha Totodile over there. So all of these are respawning. And I have 27 minutes to find a shiny here. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of time. When you're in the menu, time doesn't go by. So the time isn't counting down right now. It's counting down now. But if you're fast, I mean, you can sit here for a long time doing this. So now I'm going to go until I get myself a shiny Totodile. One thing to note while you're doing this, I went over this in my how to shiny hunt in the hyperspaces video, but while you're fly spamming, don't just spam A, because when you hit A, you interact with the portal and you might send yourself back home. So make sure you're hitting plus and then A. Oh, I did it. See, look, I wasn't paying attention. I did it. But the good news is I can load from my backup data. See, that's why you got to pay attention. It happens to the best of us. No. Okay. See, okay. Sometimes I do that too. Okay, I'm locking in. So let's say you go 27 minutes, you don't find a shiny doing this. You can use the same reset method that I had to use when I messed up and went back to the main world. You can use that to use that same donut again and hunt all over again. But the odds of not getting a shiny in 27 minutes, if you have the shiny charm and sparkling power, you'd have to be down bad. There he is, front and center for us. Okay. There he is, look. Look at my boy. Look at my boy. There he is. See if I can get a good picture of you. Am I dying? I'm dying. I need a picture for the thumbnail, Totodile. Now, let's catch him. All right, let's get him. There we go, our shiny Totodile. Okay. Man, I've wanted one of those for so long. All right, let me complete these challenges real quick. This is what I was talking about earlier with the flying Pokemon. I can just target it. Skarmory. Oh, there he is. He just flew right up to it. Easy as that. All right, now that we completed all our tasks, we get our golden Pokeball, and this is where we get a lot of those Hyper Berries. All right, so I actually want to get the whole line shiny, so I'm going to hunt 2 more. I found number 2. There he is. All right, there's number 2. We have 1 more Totodile to get, and I'll have the whole line shiny. Oh, there's number 3. There we are. Bam. Lure ball. There we go. That is the whole line. And there we go. We have our 3 shiny Totodiles. Let me evolve them real quick. There we go. Totodile, Crocodile, and for Alligator. I actually did need that for my living decks and home, so I am very happy. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. There are 5 non-shiny locked legendary Pokemon, and I'm going to be shiny hunting them real soon. So if you want to know how to do that, subscribe. Make sure you come back later because that video is going to be up as soon as I get all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.